Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. If you want to join me on my live streams, check out the link in the description in the comments below, and check out my other great channel, Crypto Daily Updates. One great crypto update every day for all your crypto news. So let's actually talk about today's topic, which is Ethereum. When will 2.0 actually come out? No, I'm just not just talking about the part where it's like staking. That will come out sooner or later. Can't really know when. But I'm talking about like smart contracts and this mystical thing called sharding, which ZIL supposedly already has. So let's actually look at the timeline. Ethereum 2.0 was originally supposed to come out sometime like 2018. That was Vitalik's promise. Well, it wasn't a promise, that was like his prediction. It's now 2020 and we don't have it. It was supposed to come out in July, but in a conference call with one of his developers, it was leaked that the head developer did not think it would come out at all in July, and that was unreasonable. And he said it wouldn't actually come out until Q1 perhaps Q1 2021. Now, he said Q3 2020 is possible. Q3 2020 would actually include July. July is the first month of Q3 2020, but July has basically been taken off the table. So my guess is probably Q4 2020 or Q1 2021. However, that is only the first of three phases: phase 0, phase 1, and phase 2. Phase 0 is the staking. You can only stake, can't really do much else with it. Phase 1, I believe, will actually be the sharding, or the sharding is the scaling part of it. And that's going to take a couple more years. Originally, I think it was supposed to be 2021, but we know that now that phase 0 won't even really come until the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. So thinking that sharding is actually going to come in 2021, I think is very, very premature. Looking at the 3-year delay, and yes, Cardano has been delayed just as much as Ethereum. Ethereum has been delayed just as much as Cardano. Looking at the almost 3-year delay between when it was first thought to come out and when phase 0 actually came out, that's a 3-year delay. So I think the next two steps won't be delayed as much because you have now a ground layer to build upon, but they still will take time. So I think phase 1, the earliest you can expect it is maybe mid 2022 or possibly end of 2022. And then the next one, which is going to be, and then like after sharding, you have smart contracts, and that's also a very, very big development. And I don't think that's going to come, if sharding comes mid 2022, I don't really expect smart contracts to come until about a year and a half later. They actually said about a year between each of these releases, but looking at their delays, I think it's going to be a year and a half. So smart contracts, I think optimistically, can actually come perhaps beginning end 2023 or beginning 2024. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if phase 2 didn't fully launch until 2025 or possibly even 2026, which is 6 years from now. But 2024, I think, is the earliest reasonable expectation we could actually see phase 2 being fully rolled out, and things could really, really start developing on Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum, Vitalik himself has said it could take 3 to 5 years, and beginning of 2024 would actually fall smack dab in the middle at 4 years. So realistically, I think that's a very optimistic scenario for Ethereum because they've missed basically all their other timelines. And I think beginning 2024 is when you can actually fully start developing on Ethereum 2.0 with sharding, with smart contracts. So that's when the scaling is going to kick in, and that's when the smart contracts are actually going to kick in. So we will at least have Ethereum 1.0 coin along with Ethereum 2.0 coin for about 3 or 4 years. Now you can trade in your Ethereum 1.0 coin 1-to-1 for 2.0, so you're not at a loss. But Ethereum really won't have the smart contracts and the scaling to start until 2024, and many people are still going to be building on Ethereum 1.0. And that honestly may not be enough for the next 4 years because of the scaling aspect. 1.0 can't really scale on the base layer, and there are some things that actually require the base layer. We know that's actually jammed twice, and that's why I think other mainnets like Cardano, like Tezos, like ZIL can actually have sufficient time to steal clients that would have gone on Ethereum. We know that like Solana, Kin is moving to Solana mainly because of the $6 million Solana has actually given them, but also Solana can handle something like 60,000 transactions per second. Cypress Hospital recently mentioned that they actually moved from Ethereum to VeChain mainly because VeChain is a permissioned public blockchain, Ethereum is permissionless, but they also said that Ethereum really couldn't scale to their needs, and scaling was much better on VeChain than Ethereum. So the scaling factor is going to play a big part in how some organizations develop which blockchain they actually switch on. Now, Ethereum, don't get me wrong, will still have a lot of use because there's still a lot of legacy stuff on it, legacy blockchain stuff on it, and a lot of companies are going to be hesitant to actually move. I completely realize that point. But it's not the end-all be-all. And remember, we're very, very young in this cryptocurrency thing. Ethereum's not like Microsoft. I mean, it has dominance, but the thing is, Microsoft's been implemented entrenched in decades of corporate software that's actually in the production phase, and companies aren't going to want to move off of it. Plus, I really don't think the Mac stuff and the Linux stuff for many purposes is as good as Microsoft. Ethereum, honestly, besides a couple of private versions of Ethereum, isn't really that widely used in the industry, like in terms of production. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's like proposed on it, but like in terms of like actual production run use, right now it's DEXs and DeFi. So it's not nearly as hard for an organization to switch from Ethereum to another blockchain as it is for them to switch to Microsoft to, like, Apple or Linux, even if that's even an option. Ethereum still has a very, very big lead on the competition, but it's not invulnerable. And the timeline to 2024 is kind of tenuous. It could take easily to 2025, 2026, looking at how long they've actually taken first phase 0. So that's kind of my prediction. Beginning of 2024 optimistically, maybe 2026 pessimistically. So let me know if you agree with me, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.